My name's Shannon Murphy, and I teach the New Hope Life Group here at Cottonwood Creek. I was married for 24 years, 3 kids. We raised our children in a Christian home, and we went to church and did all the things you're supposed to do as Christian family, prayed over meals and prayed at night, but I wasn't the spiritual head of the home, not like I should be. And over time, it deteriorated the relationship. I don't think I was aware of how much so until she let me know that she wanted a divorce. And I was devastated by it. I was awakened by it. I went on a business trip right after she told me this was going to happen. And I remember being so shaken by it that I would work during the day, and then I'd go back to my hotel room at night and just sort of fall on my face on the bed, praying and crying out to God, you know, what's going to happen with my family. And I called the church office and I said, I need to speak to somebody. I need to speak to a pastor. And I got Robert Bennett, and I just told him, I said, I just need to draw closer to God. I just need to plug in somehow, some way. And he said, well, here are some things you can do, and we have a men's Bible study every Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. and I suggest that when you come back, you start there. So I did. My intention was to say my name, and I'd been going here for a while, and thanks for having me. But as soon as I opened my mouth, I fell apart, and I just poured my heart out about my relationship with God, my desire to save my family and for this not to happen. And those men laid hands on me and prayed over me, and it was the first time in a long time I'd really felt the power of the presence of God in my life, and like He wasn't holding me to anything. He wasn't condemning me for pulling away from Him over the years, but instead He was saying, welcome back. And my marriage wasn't rescued, it wasn't saved, but that was the start of me journeying back to the Lord. So I started to become involved with the church on a more regular basis, plugged in, going to the men's Bible study, and then I got involved in divorce care. And what really brought us together was everybody in that room was seeking Lord with all their heart and with all their might, and there's something powerful in that. And out of that came this group of friends that continued after divorce care was over. So started sitting together in worship service, and then they suggested we start a life group. I said, that sounds great. Little did I know they were going to approach me later to ask me to teach it. Some of the staff and the people in the class asked me to just pray about it. So I did for about 2 months, and God just wouldn't let me go. He just convicted me over and over again. And finally, I agreed, and we started the New Hope Life Group, and it has just been amazing to see. And we all minister to each other in so many powerful ways. We've got a bunch of different stories in our class, and we're not a singles class, and we're not a marrieds class, and we're not the class of tragedy. We are New Hope, because every day we have to come back to that new hope that we have. There's part of Scripture where Jesus is talking to Peter, and this really speaks to me all the time, because I often find myself doubting whether or not God's going to come through, you know. And I've had those moments of anger and doubt where I say, God, I begged you to save my marriage, and that didn't happen. And when Jesus goes to Peter and he asks him, who do they say that I am? And Peter gives all these answers. You know, some say you're a prophet and this and that. And then Jesus kind of stops him and says, okay, I hear all that. What the world has to say, what everybody else has to say, who do you say that I am? And I think for me, God constantly comes to me and says, Shannon, I see everything that's going on around you. I see all the disappointment, all the heartache, all the hurt. But who do you say that I am? And I have to answer that for myself. And if I had something that I would want to say to people about my own legacy or about their future, It's that you can start working on your legacy right now. You can turn things around right now. And tragedy and circumstance don't change who he is. All we have to do is look at him and tell him who we believe he is. And if it's based in truth and scripture and the understanding that his love for us is unconditional and never ending, then we can have hope.